All right. Mbote, Nusiemi. Let's try again. I was live before. We had some problems with the connection. I don't know how the connection is at this moment, but we try again. And if it's fail again, then we will save it for another time. Okay, so let me know if the connection is good, so we can continue with it. Kembo, Natata Nzambi Amazulu. Ingeta. Okay. I think the connection is it's uh, it's good. So we're gonna continue. For those who don't know, we were live, but suddenly the connection just failed. It stopped broadcasting. So we needed to start over. And I wasn't even not aware. I was still talking and talking for like 5 to 8 minutes before I noticed that the connection was completely gone and that the broadcast stopped. Okay, so welcome Mbote Bandeko Nusiemi Benabeto Bena Congo. Um, in this broadcast, in the live episode, we're talking about actually we're answering the question: is Nzambi an idol? Right? Is Nzambi an idol? Um, for those in the diaspora who are not familiar, who did not grow up with Nzambi and Pungutulendo, because for every Congo, every Bukongo, Bangala, Chuluba, Baluba, every man in Congo, Angola, we know that Nzambi refers to the Most High, to God, right? Nzambi is the name for God. It has nothing to do with worshiping an idol, right? It has nothing to do with worshiping an idol. Now, to start, let me just share the screen. When you look at the word idol from mid 13th century, it says an image of a deity as an object of pagan worship. Now, they put pagan in there. Is an image of a deity as an object of worship. From Old French idole, a graven image, pagan god. From Latin idolum, image, mental or physical form, especially an apparition. Okay, especially an apparition, a ghost, but used in church Latin for false god. You know, an apparition being a false god deals with manifestations, right? Because when you are having manifestations and visitations and the forms which you are beholding in that manifest appearance or apparition, the spirits or entities appearing to you, if they do not look like anything than this, then it's a false god, right? Because it needs to be European, Western. Look, but used in church Latin for false god. So they use it to refer to false god, image of pagan deity as an object of worship. Yes, an image of pagan deity as an object of worship. Now, they themselves, Christians, the Roman Church, they themselves have images of God, right? They themselves have images of God which they worship, and images of their saints and whatever. Okay, but when the so-called pagan has an image, they will label it false image, a false image, a false god. This is from Greek, eidolon, mental image, mental image, apparition, and phantom, yes, a ghost. Also material image, a statue. So a statue is also an image. In ecclesiastical Greek, a pagan idol. Now, a pagan idol, it's to say a pagan image from idols, which is form, shape, likeness, resemblance. Yes, form, shape, likeness, resemblance. Now, even though the Christians have told us that everything outside of Christianity, everything outside of Judaism is pagan, and all and any other image than these images are pagan, are idols, false images of God. So I will say these are idols. Okay, this Mary is an idol. All the saints, what you see here, are idols. White Kadiampemba Jesus is an idol. You understand? Those are our idols. And when we look up the word pagan, the word pagan, look here, 1400s, mid 14th century, person of non-Christian Jewish faith. Now, the belief and traditions of our ancestors is older than Christianity, and it's also older than the so-called Jewish faith. You understand? Now, pagan is a person of non-Christian or non-Jewish faith, from the Latin paganus. Paganus. Pagan in classical Latin, a villager. Okay, it's look at this. In classical Latin, and villager, rustic, civilian, non-combatant. Yeah, so pagan is actually just a regular feller outside, who is not a Westerner. So they made everyone who was not Christian or Jewish a pagan. The religious sense after was said in the 19th century to derive from conservative rural adherence to the old gods after the Christianization of Roman towns and cities. But the Latin word in this sense predates that period in church history, and it is more likely derived from the use of paganus in Roman military jargon for civilian incompetent soldier, which Christians picked up with the military imagery of the early church. Now, Christians being the Europeans. The English word was used later in a narrower sense of one not a Christian, Jew, or Muslim. See, the three Abrahamic faiths that enslaved us, right, that terrorized us, use the term pagan to denote non Christian, non Jew, and eventually also non Muslim. So we are not pagan, in but we can also be defined as pagan as persons of non-Christian or non-Jewish faith, because we are Bantu, we are Bananzambi. We have nothing to do with these religions. Yeah. But we can turn it also and call them pagans because they are not of us. They are not of the traditions and ways of our ancestors. So Nzambi is not an idol. Nzambi is not an image. It's not an image that we can touch, image that we can create, because Nzambi is supreme, spiritual, invisible. These images of the Catholic Church has nothing to do with Nzambi Apungutulendo. Yes? These images also, what you see here, when you type in Nzambi in Google, images like this, this is not Nzambi Ampungu. Now, these are just images that people use as they tell the story of God and the traditions of the fathers. But that's not to say that this statue is an object of worship that we have to worship as Nzambi Ampungutulendo, the supreme being. You understand? It's just um, a tradition of the people to have imagery of their spirituality, the same as you see here, okay, as the Romans, the Christians, right, the Muslims, they all have imageries of their religious traditions. It's the same thing. Nzambi is seen in 2nd Esdras 9:34. We have Ma'ani, who was a priest, a Levite, and his sons are named, Jeremiah's, Mumdi's, etc. And and then we have Nzambi, not Nzambis, but Nzambi, the S being silent. So we have Nzambi in the book of Esdras, right? Nzambi is there. Nzambi is not an idol. It's the name of the Most High, the Supreme Being. Okay. Now, when you're dealing with image, right? They say image, etc. You have to remember that you yourself, you are a image of the Creator, right? So the Creator made an idol, right? Because He made an image. You are an image. You are the image, the idol of the Creator. So He created you in His image, likeness, in His form. Strange, right? If you think it like that, if you put it like that. So therefore, you don't need to worship a false image. You just need to look in the mirror and you will see the image of Nzambi Ampungu, the image of God, image of the Creator. See, His image is in you. His image is in you. You are the expressed image of the invisible God. So people had their traditions to express their culture, express the religion in imageries, right? In imageries. That's why they created imageries. That's why the Congo people also created their own imageries as they talk about Nzambi and Pungutulendo, the traditions of the holy ancestors. But that's not to say that they worship those imageries as if they are God Himself. That's stupid. That's not what we did. Okay. So Nzambi is the name of God. It's the name of the supreme being, the invisible God. All right. The invisible supreme being who abides, who lives in the heavens of heavens, far away from humans, yeah, isolated. He abides in the heavens of heavens. Now, we see zombies in the book of Ezra. We see also Nzambi, here, look at this, Nzambi is not an idol. So if Nzambi is an idol, as the Roman Catholic Church are coming to Congo, to Angola, to the Kingdom Empire of Congo, they started to translate the Bible to the Kikongo language. Okay. And as they were translating the Bible in Kikongo language, look at this. Biblia Ndinga Yanzambi, which is to say, the writings of Yah Nzambi, the writings of the Most High, right? Ndinga Yanzambi. So, if they would consider Nzambi to be an idol, why did they use the name Nzambi as they were translating the Bible? You see, if it is true what they say, okay, they say this image here is an idol, okay, Nzambi Ampungu is an idol. So why are they translating the Bible in the Kikongo, etc., and use the name Nzambi? If that's so, can anyone explain why they will do that? As they are colonizing the people spiritually. Yes, spiritually. Now, when we go back to the definition, look at the definition of idol, okay? From Latin idolum, a image, mental or physical, right? So mental is to say that there is an imagery that you have formed in your mind. Yes, there is an imagery that you have formed in your mind. Now, when you think on God, what do you imagine, in your mind? How does he look? What do you imagine? Do you see a white guy? That's a false image that they have planted in your mind mentally. Yes, that mental imagery. If you imagine a white God, your mind has been colonized and you have put a false image in your mind. And that's what they did. Yes, because the true image of Nzambi is Moyindu. Yes, Moyindu. So we have Nzambi on the Bible. And it is, I think, a Bible from the 1500. Yes, Biblia Dinga Nzambi. Now, when we go, let's see, when we read the Bible from Genesis 1 in the Lingala, see, it is Genesis 1, verse 1. Ebandeli Yamokeli. Yes, the beginnings of the world. It says, Na ebandeli Nzambi. Right? You see that? Na ebandeli Nzambi. Akelaki likolo pe mokili. So, in the beginning, Nzambi. You see, they have not replaced Nzambi with any other name, but they used Nzambi in the Bible because they recognize that Nzambi is actually the Bantu name, the Kongo name for the supreme being. And I will show you. Mm. Both fasting is live. Yes, I know, brother. I have been having problems with live streams. It's crazy. But I hope we live, everything is working. You are able to follow me. Many people are also not receiving the notifications when I go live or when I post a video. Yes. But we're here, we're here. So Nzambi is in the Bible. Nzambi is also on the cover of the Bible. Nzambi is not an idol. All right. Now let's continue. Let me hide this. Let's go to King Leopold first. King Leopold the second of the Belgium, right? Of the Belgium colonizers. The missionaries were sent by Leopold to go to Congo. Okay, listen, reverence, fathers, and dear compatriots, the task that is given to fulfill is very delicate and required much tact. You will go certainly to evangelize, but your evangelization must inspire above all Belgium interest. Your principal objective in our mission in the Congo is never to teach the niggers to know God. Okay, in the green, he says what? Your principal objective in our mission in the Congo is never to teach the niggers to know God. Why not? Why not? This they know already in red. Do you see that? So King Leopold said, they know God, man. We are not going there to teach them about something or someone they already know. We are going there to deceive them. Okay? They speak and submit to a Mungu, one Nzambi, yeah, one Nzakomba. He was well informed, this guy. He was well informed. Yes, so he said, we're not going there to teach them about God. They know God. We're going there to deceive them. Listen, and he has, and what else I don't know. They know that to kill, to sleep with someone else's wife, to lie, and to insult is bad. That's to say, they know the law. They know the laws and commandments. Okay? And he continue to speak to the priests, the missionaries. Have courage to admit it. You are not going to teach them what they know already. Okay? All right. Now, some will say, yeah, it's because the missionaries were there. The missionaries were already there. Who is he sending in this letter? Who is he sending? Is he not sending missionaries to Colonial Congo? To colonize Congo mentally? Yes, it says he. It's right there, right? Missionaries. So the Congos did not knew do not the knowledge of God did not come to the Congo people by the European missionaries. Our ancestors knew God before the contact with the missionaries. Okay, it's crazy. Um, Let me see. Now here, it is from the book Elements of Negro Religion. It says, among African races, the Bantu alone are credited with possessing divine myths and traditions about their origin. The Zulu prove the divineness of the origin by saying that God let them down from the sky in a basket and believed themselves to be the descendants of Unkulunkulu, or God, the great creator ancestor. They further say that all who were sprung from him were originally black and have remained so to this day. See? So our ancestors knew that Nzambi, the creator, was black because we ourselves are black, right? So how can you be something else if you are created in the image of the Creator? So you will look like Him. So our ancestors said, listen, the Creator is black, we are black, and everyone who sprung from Him is black. Muhindu. Yes, Muhindu. See, so we had the knowledge of the Creator. Yes. It's a book study of Bakongo religion and magic. Let's see, from 1938. Okay, from 1938. Nzambi, creator of all things. Do you see that? Nzambi is the creator of all things. Okay, now countless riddles express this idea. In the poem that Nzambi made, we only bathe on the edges. What is it? Fire. In the field of Nzambi and Pungu, there are two large piles, which the sun and moon. The little bundle that Nzambi tied up won't come undone. What is that? So these are like lessons through the way of parables, okay? Because our ancestors were teaching us the truths and mysteries and lessons of life and of God and of traditions through parables, okay? Through parables, just like Yiseka'yah Kongo, Jesus was teaching his disciples through parables. And the little bundle that Nzambi tied up won't come undone. What is it? Navel. The tree that Nzambi planted does not drop a leaf. Her name, Kintundibila, which even keeps its leaves dry. The pad that Nzambi cleans is never dirty. What is it? The throat. Yeah, so those are our parables. But let's focus on this here. We'll focus on this here. It's the commentary of the writer. Okay? The writer is Joseph van Ving. He's the writer here. And he says the following. Okay, listen up. He says, between the entire nation of people who inhabit Western Ethiopia and perhaps Eastern Ethiopia, the Besi Congo, that's to say the people of Congo, were from their beginnings more polite in customs, okay, and less barbaric and very subject to reason. You see that? Because, first of all, listen, pay attention, because, first of all, there were never idols between them. You see that? Now, what is an idol? According to the definition, idol is what? A false god, right? A false god. False god, which in church Latin, used in church Latin for false god, a false image, okay? False image that is being worshipped as an object of worship, as an object of worship. We never worship these objects. Yeah, understand? We never worship these objects. It's not for worship. That's what the Europeans were saying and still say, actually, right? We never worshipped those things. Okay? Here, another one. There were never idols amongst them. no temples where they adored or venerated them. Now, to adore also means what? Worship. Yeah? So, adoration, veneration are synonyms of worship. They only they only knew God. You see that? And what's the name of God? How do we call God in Kikongo, in Bantu, in Lingala? Mulungu, Murungu, Ngai, Ya, Yambe, Nzambi, Nzambi. They only knew God and they adored Him. So we worshiped Him, not these idols, not these objects. These objects were not for worship. Okay? These objects were not for worship. The European gave it a name, Nzambi An, but these objects are actually Kisi. Kisi images, not Nzambi An. They are for something else, for other purposes, but not for worship. Yes, not for worship. Okay, so our ancestors only knew God. And the person who's writing this, right, is Joseph van Ving. Yes, Joseph van Ving, a Belgian guy in 1938. The letter of King Leopold was from 1888 or 1883. See, the letter from King Leopold was from 8080. Oh, shoot. And so this guy, what happened? This guy, a missionary, went to the Congo, right? And he started to interview the elders to know their stories. And as the elders were telling the stories, he was penning them down, he was writing them down. Yes, that's what happened. That's what they did. So the elders were telling the story, and the missionaries and whatever person who was interviewing them was writing it down because they were curious about the spirituality and the knowledge of the Besi Congo and the Bantu people. So we only knew God, and we adored Him, yes, as the author of all things good, whom they call Nzambi An, yes, Nzambi An, which means Supreme Lord of Heaven. Is this the Supreme Lord of Heaven? Right? Yes. Can we accept this as the Supreme Lord of Heaven? Yeah? The image, the idol, the image of the invisible God? Is this the guy? Right? Is this the image that we must accept? Mm-hmm. No. Our ancestors said no. Why? Because God is a black man. Okay? Because the image of the creator is black. Okay? The original image of the creator is black. So everyone that sprungs from him, that comes from the creator, his children are black. Moindu, children of the sun, literally means people of the sun. Moindu, Moi, yeah, Moindu, people of the sun. Okay, let's go back to this. Let's continue. So, together they had knowledge. See that? Together they had knowledge of the devil, but they did not worship the devil. See? However, they revered him as the author of all evil. So even the concept of the devil was not introduced to the Bantu, the Congo people, by the missionaries. It is false. It's not true. We already had the knowledge of a evil being, right? Who goes against everything that is good, so that we will not do it to him whom they called Kadiampemba. You see, so the devil was called Kadiampemba. Kadiampemba. Okay? So when I say Kadiampemba, Bana, Bana, or Bena Kadiampemba, it's the children of the devil. Bena Kadiampemba. Okay, now this is from a book, History of Luango, Kakango, and Ngoyo, from 1777, from Abbe Poyart, who was a missionary, you know, a Catholic priest. He also did a lot, much study amongst the Congo people, the Bantu people, and he wrote his foundings. And as he was talking with the elders, he was putting things, writing things down. Now, he says the following, starting from the top. There are also found in the language many words pretty much resembling Hebrew words, which have the same signification in Hebrew. Yes, and then he gives us comparisons. Okay, he gives comparisons, etc., etc. Like this one here in Hebrew, tamam or taman, fullness and perfection, right? And koma, to approach, to meet in Hebrew, kum. This also to rise up and to go and meet. Lika, to eat. Lika here, to eat. Lika, to eat in Hebrew, lakam. So lakam is lika, liya in Kolya, Lingala, etc. Okay. Here he says these people, in order not to expose their religion to contempt, are very reserved in speaking of it to Europeans. See, so our ancestors were not just telling stories, right? Like, come here, Mundele, sit down, let me tell you our stories. They were very reserved, speaking of it to European missionaries, because the secret things belongs to you and your children forever. Deuteronomy 29:29. So they were careful to tell strangers about the secret things of the Most High. So they were very reserved in speaking of it to the European missionaries. And it is only by the long sojourn that the missionaries have made among them, that they have discovered. Just because they were there for a long, long, long time, did the missionaries eventually discover, at least in part, what constitutes the object of their religion. Okay, they have penned it down as superstition, but it's religion. They acknowledge a supreme being. Okay, so once again, and this is a book from Abbe Poyard, a Christian missionary from 1777. Yes, and he says they, the Congo people, acknowledge a supreme being who, having no origin, is himself the origin of all things. They believe he has created all that is fine, all that is good in the universe, that by being by nature just, he's a just one. He loves justice in others and severely punishes fraud and perjury. They call him Nzambi. See this? Zambi. They call him Zambi, which is the same as Esdras 9, 1 Esdras 9:34. Nzambis. Same spelling. Okay? The same spelling. They call him Zambi. 1 Esdras 9:34. They take his name in testimony of the truth. Yes, they take his name in testimony of the truth. So, this when they want to say something truthful, they will say, "In the name of Nzambi, I'm telling you the truth." And they regard perjury as one of the greatest of crimes. Hmm. Okay. Kitoko. The Negro faith, the faith of the Bantu Negro, has for its foundation the primary belief in a beginning creator who reigns supreme in the universe. God is not immanent, He is a personal creator, and a person cannot be immanent. He is mind supreme, so He's the supreme mind. Yes, the supreme mind. And immanent as thought is immanent. God is taught, right? God is taught. By prayer, we gain His ear because prayer is taught. The soul's sincere desire, and thought is the first faculty of the soul, the telepathy instinct of the spirit. Nor can it truthfully be said that the modern Negro's conception of God has evolved in his mind through course of time or by some strange, unfathomable process of reasoning. The belief has descended to him from antediluvian ancestors. Wow. So this belief that God is the supreme being, right, is the supreme mind. The Negro Bantu has received this belief, right, from the antediluvian ancestors, so the ancestors before the flood. Yeah, the ancestors who were living before the flood, is to say that the Bantu received their philosophy of God, their knowledge of God from antediluvian ancestors. Okay, okay, that's God is uncreated creator. Yeah, so no one created him. He's the self-existing one. God, Nzambi, is the beginning of everything. He's also the end of everything. Yeah? I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end, the Aleph and Toph, the first and the last. It's actually a Bantu concept. See, it's a Bantu concept. Nzambi An is not an idol. Nzambi is the name of the supreme being amongst the Kongo people, the Bantu. Nzambi, Yambi, Nzambi, Murungu, Mulungu, Ngai. Those are all variations, yeah, expressions, names which are used for the supreme beings amongst the Congo. So for the Bakongo, we know Nzambi, we know Yakongo, Akongo, yeah, Kalunga. Those are our names and titles for the Most High, yeah, which expresses His attributes. Okay, His attributes. But when we are addressing the Most High, Supreme Being, we will say Nzambi. Hallelujah. Ingeta. So, and some will connect Nzambi with zombies, right? And zombies, because they say we we call upon spirits of dead people, and we are involved in necromancy and things like that. No, no, we are not involved in necromancy. No, we are not involved in um, talking with demons, because we don't believe that a Muntu dies, because a Muntu does not die. A Muntu continue his life. He just enters into a different realm of existence. Yes, life does not end. Life is continuous. It's continuous. So when you die, it means that your time on this plane of existence has come to an end, and that you have transferred, right? You transitioned into the other realm where you continue life. So for the Muntu, death is not the end, as your spirit soul will continue to live. So if you are alive and I'm conversing to you, I'm not conversing with a dead spirit or demon, right? But that is another story. That's another story. Look for a video teaching I did about the clouds of witnesses, the spirit of the ancestors, things like that. I explain all this in that video. So if you're interested, go and look up that video. So Matondo, um, let me answer the question of Ben Israel. No. Um, the Bantu tribes, do not all speak the same dialect. Okay, we have Bantu languages and with different dialects. So you have the dialects of the Zulu, you have Lingala, you have Kiswahili, yes, you have yeah, different Bantu dialects. So, but the Bible says that He will restore unto us the people one pure language, so that we can worship the Most High in unison. Yes, and that's something we look forward to, that we will be restored having one language. Ingeta. Thank you for watching. I am Nabi Kefas. Check out my Patreon page. I have additional teachings over there which are not on YouTube, which will also help you a lot. Yeah, so go there and support me on Patreon. Matondo for watching. Nzambi Abenisa. Don't forget to like the video, share, and if you're new, subscribe to the channel. Kembu Natatanzambi Amazulu. Ingeta.